Kelly Shaw, Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. This sighting report was submitted by a gentleman. It was him and his friend that were hiking near Boulder, Utah. It's the southern part of the state near the Arizona border. The exact date, May 1994. And I'm going to read the report the gentleman submitted. I was hiking the Escalante Wilderness on a bench between the Gulch and Deer Creek. There are a number of stony rises between the two areas. My friend and I crossed the bench in order to make camp at Deer Creek. As we hiked in a westward direction, the sun was directly overhead. I was first to notice the movement at the top of the rise. We were less than a mile from the top, and pointed it out to my companion. We puzzled about what it could be. I've hiked the area and never saw anyone up on the bench during this time of day, over the previous 15 years. And though this had a human shape, it was too large and it was white. I mean paper white, not Caucasian. The creature was white. The creature appeared to be pacing as if looking for something. Suddenly it became very aware that I had spotted it, as it ducked behind the rocky outcroppings and was obscured from our view. As we were hiking toward the area to cross the bench, we observed, as we got closer, that the area the creature stood was at the highest point and would require a lot of climbing skills to reach. Not knowing what it was dangerous or wanted to be left alone, or if it was even there any longer, and we were extremely exhausted, we decided to hike for water. We hiked down the bench and down to Deer Creek. About a half a mile down the westward slope, we both had the feeling that we were being watched. We both turned and looked up to the area we had previously sighted the creature, and it was watching us again. Then quickly ducked down so we could not see it. I wrote about it in my journal, which I have kept for many years. I never thought of this being a Bigfoot sighting, or heard of anyone describe a white Bigfoot. But a friend of mine who was a Bigfoot enthusiast directed me to file a report. Here's the follow-up report by the investigator. Additional information surfaced during our phone conversations. Bob is a guide in the area where his sighting occurred and has been backpacking the area annually for about 20 years. During the time, he has seen wildlife through this area, but nothing quite like this creature. Outdoor Magazine calls this area the most wild place in the contiguous U.S. It is located between the Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, and Canyonlands National Park and Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. It is a high desert of white hard rock, rolling hills and gullies with pinyon pine, sagebrush, beaver, lots of fish, mountain lion, deer. There are many canyons and cliff dwellings in the area. The witness confirms that the water is a major limiting factor here. Wildlife needs to stay in close proximity, and before movement into different areas needs to take in consideration water. The animal was first observed while Bob and his friend were coming up the gully onto the bench. It had one arm raised to shade its eyes and was pacing back and forth as if looking for something. It was so intent on looking out toward the horizon that it didn't look down to see the two hikers for about 10 to 15 minutes. It was between 7 and 9 feet tall and pure white. It would have been camouflaged against the white rock if viewed from above or below from the visible blue sky. The witness was reluctant to classify the animal as Sasquatch. He had never heard or thought of sightings that concede this of a sort of human that's so big and more agile than a human and white. He could not accept that it was Sasquatch, but it walked on two legs. He never considered this story would ever repeat except for around a campfire. So, like most people, he wants to remain anonymous. He goes by the name of Bob. Perhaps this is his first name. Very exciting Bigfoot sighting report. Up on the ridge, just like the Native Americans always talk about, they're ridge walkers. A lot of the sightings happen up on ridges, and nowadays there's a lot of sightings of a Bigfoot crossing the road with all the roadways and traffic these days. But very exciting Bigfoot sighting report from southern Utah. We're going to be bringing you more Bigfoot sighting reports from northern Arizona, southern Utah. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.